Well, it's last Easter. I spent Lent in the book of Mark, loving the book of Mark, eating it up, savouring it, reading it so slowly. I wanted to save the best till last. So I read it all the way through Lent, thinking, when I get to Easter, I'll finish the book of Mark, and somehow I managed to forget how it ends. It doesn't really end. It just sort of stops. And I got deeply frustrated with it. Trembling and bewildered, the women went out and fled from the tomb. They said nothing to anyone because they were afraid. And then it says the two most reliable early manuscripts do not have Mark 16, 9-20. You've got to be kidding me. You telling me that the Easter story ends with the women trembling and bewildered, fleeing from the tomb, saying nothing to anybody because they were afraid. And you want me to swallow that? That's seriously how the story ends? I was outraged by it. And then there's a kind of another section, which those first two manuscripts don't add, that talks about them going out and preaching the gospel into the whole world. And I had to spend a whole day pondering before I could figure out why on earth it would be that Mark's gospel would end with such a cliffhanger. And then I realised that it was inviting me into the story. The story couldn't be neatly ended because I was part of that ongoing story. I was full of fear and trembling. I didn't have any words. I was fleeing from the tomb. And somehow I was part of an unfinished story that would one day finish. But I had to get into Mark's gospel and be part of that story and encounter the resurrection and go into all the world and actually become an actor in that story, not just an observer on it.